Recommended to us by Rhea Sanka, Princess Principal is yet another summer 2017 anime that I felt went a little unnoticed in my opinion. To this day, I haven't really seen many big anime sites on Twitter tweet anything about this out. Now, obviously this could be because I'm not on Twitter when they're tweeting this stuff out, but even then, maybe they should be also tweeting this stuff out when I'm on Twitter, because I think as this review goes on a little bit more, you'll kind of understand as to why I think this anime needs a little bit more attention than it has gotten. It may not be the most perfect, technically sound anime, but it deserves way more than what it got. Princess Principal is set in a sort of steampunk 19th century world where the Kingdom of Albion is split into east and west by a wall. The Princess of Albion Kingdom, though, wants the walls of the east and west to fall, and she will do anything to bring back peace to Albion. But secretly, she is a spy as well with 4 other girls. One of these girls is named Angie from the Black Lizard planet. She is close to the princess, and with the help of both Angie and Princess, as well as the other girls, they will try to bring down the wall that divides their nation. Princess Principal is an anime that aired in summer 2017 and is made by the studio simply known as Actus. They are of course known for creating such fantastic anime like Girls und Panzer and Transformers Armada. That's a deep cut. And Studio 3 Hertz, also known for Flip Flappers and Dimensions W, and is directed by Kazuya Nomura, who is known for directing the 2015 Ghost in the Shell film and Joker's Game. And Masaki Tachibana also directed this as well, who's of course known for Dot Hack Quantum and Barakamon. This is also a completely original anime, not being based off a pre-existing story. It is also a 12-episode series at 24 minutes long each episode. To start off, this show has a great idea with it being based on case files per se. So what I mean by this is that the first 8 or so episodes of this anime are set at different times to tell the stories of these characters and develop them. The most memorable one in my opinion is Dorothy's backstory and meeting her father after being years apart. Another is what happened to Beatrice and how she became a steampunk cyborg. This show uses these special episodes not only to forward the characters in their past, but also push forward a basic story thread for the last part of the series, and that's the wall that divides Albion. I think many people have a problem with this series because there is a general lack of connection between these episodes, and my answer to that, of course, is that it's a very fair argument. To play devil's advocate, there really is no satisfying transition between episodes. Some of them even feel they're a part of the same general plot thread when, in reality, they aren't. It's not perfected. But I also think this is the reason it's so successful, because it's different and unique. And here's the thing, non-linear storytelling is hard, but I commend the effort put forth here. To me, the plot of Princess Principal is very original and unique, and if you don't believe me, how many anime have we gotten that's been anything like this? I think it's completely fair to praise the series for this, especially now, because this whole year so far has been based on a lot of monsters and other fantastical creatures. So I respect this anime doing something pretty cool to stand out from the crowd, even though this anime didn't receive a lot of attention for it. Alright, here is where the show is really good in my opinion. The characters of this series are developed really well while still having a certain mystique to most of them. And let's be honest as well, this is a 12-episode anime, not a 24-episode anime, so the fact it actually succeeds in developing these characters is outstanding. Let's take for example the princess. In the first couple of episodes, I felt a little put off by the princess because the character to me just smiled a lot and was there for emotional support in the beginning. I either felt she was unimportant to the series and was there because she was this moe girl, or she was going to be the bad guy by the end of it. By the end of the series, I was actually surprised because they took neither route and opted to develop this character in such a way where she became detrimental to the story, and was a character you could get behind, of course. As for letdowns of this show, it still isn't perfect. I would have loved to have more development for these girls overall, maybe just another episode for each of them, but sadly it it being 12 episodes, there just wasn't enough to get more out of the story, which I think is the only downfall to the characterizations and really the whole anime, in my opinion.
あんじゃ言ってないのかよ。言ったわ。黒トカゲ星から来たって。
The art with this series is exceptional as the world and characters that populate it are unique and well designed. For this series, the characters have a more moe design akin to something like K-On! Or whatever anime you'd substitute that for in your mind. But I think for this show it adds to the uniqueness of the overall product as these characters feel larger than life already, and now their designs are cool, unique, and they make them stand out even more in the world that's already pretty brown as is. I mean, and honestly, if these characters weren't designed the way they are in the show, they would just kind of blend in with the overall gray art style, and honestly, it'd probably feel depressing. But I do also want to preface by saying this anime is one of the few anime out there to not have fan service and a series designed around cute moe anime characters. Now, it's not like it's not been done before, but with this series' producers, you'd think there'd be a lot of it. And thankfully, they put a cap on the fan service and focus more on the characters and their story. These are women who are spies and they act like it, and I'm sure some of you will bring up Dorothy right about now too. Yes, Dorothy shows a lot of cleavage and they make a point to get a camera full of memory. But this is to forward her character as a spy who has the gift of a good body and will use the good body to seduce men to get into areas she otherwise wouldn't have access to. It's a pretty cool way to handle this character in my opinion, and it's handled very maturely as well. I can't say enough good about this animation. Everything is smooth and looks great. There are a lot of action scenes in this anime that had me on the edge of my seat. Car chases, fights, shootouts, you name it. It's probably there and in full effect. To say this anime is without action, well, that would be a lie. And honestly, I'm not too surprised with these studios making this anime have a great actioning kind of vibe to it. Actis worked on the Transformers series for a bit, and Transformers has always been known for their action and great animation for a kids' TV show. So with this series, it was a great thing to see them transition the action over to here. But I can't really say anything bad about this show straight up in terms of animation, but if I had to give a nitpick, I'd say that the car that they drive in this series seems so cool, right? But a little too fluid for my taste. Now, this is a steampunk, of course, but I don't think the car they drive should be that fast just normally. I also thought the car seemed a little too weightless. I would compare it to how you'd play Burnout Revenge and you'd bump a car and it would glitch out and fly off the screen. That's a little specific, sure, but that's the kind of thing that came to my mind when watching this. As for the score, Princess Principal impressed me quite a bit. I felt this series was very well scored, and you shouldn't be surprised as Yuki Kajiura scored this series. She, of course, is known for Dot Hack, the Fate series, Madoka Magica, and Sword Art Online. Some notable episodes I felt the score shines are episodes 4, 11, and 12. These episodes encapsulate not only Yuki's sound, but also the feeling of the show. And let's also mention the opening and ending songs. Now, I went ahead and listened to both of them in full, by the way, not just the anime versions, several times, and here are my thoughts. The opening song is quite well made. It's one of those epic modern jazz tunes that has influences from other types of music like electronic. In my opinion, this is probably the best opening song of the whole season and probably year. This song I like so much though because it reminds me vocally of Mai Yamane from the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, and well, musically Cowboy Bebop as well. As for the ending song, it's fine. It's not something I'm going to rave about exactly. It's got a distinct Beatles feel to it, which is very good, but if the Beatles were a thing now, rather than in the 1960s, this is the kind of song you get. I'm impressed overall with the score from front to back. Probably the best score of the whole summer 2017 season.
正体バレたって思ったら花が添えてあって。花？新しい指令書ね。仕事バカ。もっと学生を楽しめよ。
Princess Principal is a hell of a ride. It's got its fair share of problems, there is no denying that, but I think for many this will be the anime of the year for them, even over the popular stuff that's already been airing. The reason is because this anime is doing something that really isn't being done, and that's creating a well-rounded anime that may be a little rough around the edges, but most importantly, original. This is an original anime in not only its category, but in its intentions to make a story that isn't like the other anime. And that's why I want to urge, if they even understand or even care, the creators of this anime to at least give this series another season. It may have not been another Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia, but it doesn't have to be. I personally like these characters in the world they're attached to. I also like the original story here that's unique in just about every way. It needs another season, and sadly, it likely won't be getting one. Princess Principal gets an above average score of a 3 out of 5.
はじめまして。私は
存じてます。この国の者は皆。
Okie dokie, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying this week so far. We've reviewed Zuri, Children, whatever you want to call it, and we did a Sakura Spirit video yesterday. Thursday or tomorrow, we're gonna have, I believe, a podcast about the Three Zeros. You'll have to figure out what that is when it comes out, because it's a little bit of a surprise. And then Friday, we have the much anticipated, much awaited Gamers finale review thing. It'll be fun. I cannot wait to review Gamers. It's been great, but as for this anime, I really want a season 2 of this anime. Trying to think of stuff that I didn't get to mention in the review, and I think I pretty much got all of it that I really felt was important to mention in the review. Not really anything I really want to mention here that I feel is important enough. I just really want to sit here and praise its music and and just how great it was. A lot of people will probably be listening to this video and be a little mad that I gave it a 3 out of 5. I feel like it's got that kind of fan base where they're going to be mad I didn't give it a 4 or a 5 out of 5 instead of the 3 out of 5 I gave it. But I felt that was very fair, because even though it was an original anime, even though it told an original story that was very unique in its world building and its character building and just very great all around in those aspects, it still had a lot of problems. I mean, the way they aired the episodes, where they're kind of out of order, like the case files and stuff like that, even though I found that very unique, to play devil's advocate, a little confusing at times. That's for sure. That is for sure. And plus the first 2 episodes are just like, I have no clue where those came from, and I know some people will enjoy those, but for me, man, those first 2 episodes, they just came out of nowhere. I'm thankful I did the 3 episode guideline thing and stuck around for the 3rd episode, because at that point in time I was like, there ain't no way I'm continuing this after episode 3. Like, this is gonna be a bad anime. And lo and behold, episode 3 was pretty good. It's pretty rock solid. And then episode 4 was like, whew. Episode 4 was so good in its score and just everything. I know what I can talk about. I can talk about Angie's, I can talk about, my TV is glitching out here. I don't know why. I can talk about, Angie's little device thing she had. So she had this little device that basically, she kind of had like, superpowers. Well, she had this little ball thing, and I'm very, very sorry, I apologize for this, that it had this like aura, this green aura kind of around her that covered her and whoever was touching her, or really it's whatever was touching the little ball thing. And she could fly with that thing, and she was impervious to bullets, and it was basically her kind of MacGuffin device where she could do whatever and didn't have to die. She could make impressive feats, fly through, she'd do anything. I felt that was a little cheap. I felt that's one of the reasons I gave it a 3 out of 5, because they kind of, I think when they went into this, they knew they wanted to have a really high octane kind of anime, They wanted the characters to do fantastical things, but I also thought that they kind of wanted to ground it in a little bit of reality rather than more fantastical. It's like the opposite of Shumatsu no Izetta. Shumatsu no Izetta, or Izetta the Last Witch, it was marketed as this World War I kind of alternate fantasy thing, and then it went out of nowhere and it was like, yeah, well, Izetta is super overpowered. No one can hope to defeat her. There's no reason really to watch this show at all. It's kind of like the opposite of that. I felt like they probably just had to give her that little device, because otherwise the things they probably had planned weren't going to work out. And it was a short 12-episode series, so they kind of had to do something to speed the story up, and that little device probably helped them to speed up the story quite a bit. As for anything else, check out the score for this. Check out the opening and ending songs. Check out just a lot of check out Yuki's work. She's very good. She scored Sword Art Online, which in my opinion is some of her best stuff. Even though I have my own opinions about that series, I think everyone can agree the music is really good for that. I personally like the opening song a lot more than the ending. The ending song, as of after this review, is growing on me a little bit, but I'm the kind of person who will listen to just random things to get musical inspiration, if that makes sense, because I am a musician. So I will listen to just to random stuff, so I'm not like the normal person that listens to music and they're like, this is better than Justin Bieber, we should get rid of Justin Bieber. Like, why are you talking about Justin Bieber in YouTube comments and about this song? It doesn't make any sense. I have an excuse to listen to different stuff, so you can't really complain about me and be like, you're not super indie because you don't like certain music. I like it all. Just because I want to take it all in and learn new stuff. But other than that, I think that's all we got for the video. Thank you, Fureya Sanka, for recommending me this. This has been a whole kind of week dedicated to him in many ways, because he kind of recommended me all this new season of anime. He gave me like a whole list, and we're kind of finishing up that list of the anime I took from his stuff and kind of went with, and only dropped one of them, so he kind of has a very solid taste in anime. Very good. Thank you guys for watching. My name is SeaTactics for the One of the Wise, and it's been signing out.